Okay, Jane, we're live.
Leontine. Hello, and a very warm welcome to this AI and Robotics in Tourism and Hospitality Special Interest Group webinar. My name's Jane Turner, and I'm the coordinator of the Atlas Special Interest Groups. I'd like to thank you all for joining today's session, which will focus on continuous AI learning with our industry partners. Atlas, the Association for Tourism and Leisure Education and Research, is a global association with over 140 member universities across 45 countries, all of whom are dedicated to advancing education within the fields of tourism and leisure studies. With a portfolio now of over 20 special interest groups and continuing to grow, the special interest groups cover a whole host of topics, helping to create a vibrant community within Atlas amongst the thousands of educators, researchers and practitioners who are members. As a result, there's always research projects, events and opportunities for networking, knowledge exchange to get involved with. The hosts of today's webinar are the coordinators of our
You have accidentally muted yourself, Jane.
Jane, you're going to mute.
Oh, sorry, apologies. I'll just pick up on the fact that today's webinar, the coordinators of our Atlas AI and Robotics in Tourism and Hospitality Special Interest Group, which was established in 2023. The group is led by Dr. Angela Wright, Associate Professor Alzbeta Kirilova, and Professor Stanislav Ivanov and Patrick Shields. The team are active in supporting the progression of research and scholarly activity within this growing and important subject area. And on that note, I'd like to hand over to Patrick, who'll be moderating today's session. Over to you, Patrick.
Thank you very much, Jane, and hello, everybody. It's wonderful to be here. And shortly, I'll be introducing our speakers for today, following which we'll have a question and answer session. But first, I'd like to speak a little bit about my own research. So please allow me to share my screen. And I will just go into slideshow mode. So hopefully you can see that as a slideshow now. And basically my research is titled Behavioral Drivers of Generative Artificial Intelligence Adoption in Small to Medium Independent Hotels, an exploratory study in the Irish hotel sector. My PhD supervisors are Dr. Angela Wright, who is present on the session today, and Dr. Breda O'Dwyer. And my particular PhD is a full-time scholarship at Munster Technological University as part of the TU Rise programme funded by the Government of Ireland and the European Union. So looking at all things generative AI adoption, particularly in the SME hospitality sector. Just for a little bit of context, there's been a rapid diffusion of generative AI tools in organization for all kinds of things, marketing and content, communicating with guests, and in drafting up HR documents, and in a lot of analytical and forecasting work as well. And it's been very interesting to see the evolution of government frameworks around this. And it would be interesting to understand how this is operating in your own countries right now. But in Ireland, we've had a framework or report issued almost every year since 2021. So the first government framework regarding AI adoption for enterprise was published in mid-2021, and it was titled AI Here for Good. So Ireland prides itself on its technological ecosystem, about its multinational presence in the country, about the significant employment that we have in this space and technological advancements, etc., and is really embracing AI as this new revolution and all of the benefits that it can bring to productivity and efficiency. And in the first industry framework in 2021, it really spoke to the opportunities with AI and the government's objective that 75% of all businesses will have integrated AI by the year 2030, with a benefit they expected of about 250 billion euro to the economy. But then as frameworks and reports started to be produced each year, the tone has shifted from opportunity to practicality, because what a lot of the research is showing is that there seems to be a disparity between how SMEs are adopting AI and how large multinational businesses are adopting AI. And even last year, the Central Statistics Office in Ireland, through its own survey, found that just 20% of organizations had meaningfully adopted AI into their operations. And when that was broken down, it was approximately 39% of large enterprise and just 10 or 11% or even less of small and medium enterprise and micro businesses. And the latest National AI and Digital Strategy from the government, which was released just last month, really doubles down on what supports it can provide to SMEs with getting them on their adoption journeys as they lag behind larger enterprise. Because the government has its own objectives of digitalizing the health services, automating a lot of public body services, but also in order to achieve those goals of contribution to the economy, it needs to ensure that it's supporting businesses on the adoption journey, and it appears that's becoming more and more fragmented over time. So SMEs account for 99% of all businesses in Ireland and about that much in Europe as well, and about 68% of the workforce. And I'm going to focus on SMEs from the hospitality context because that's my own background as a previous hotel general manager and director over a number of years in Ireland and overseas. And I want to look at independent hotels, which is also my background was predominantly independent hotels. And actually, it might surprise you to hear that a ratio of 4 properties to 1 are still independent across Ireland and the European Union. And that means that they're not tied to a major multinational group like Marriott or Hilton, etc., that many of them are privately owned, even up to 668 of them in Ireland. So as an example of SMEs, there's a pool of businesses here to look at that might be quite relevant to the context. A lot of the characteristics of those organizations, they can be limited in technical resources, a strong leadership influence where leaders might be responsible for multiple areas, possibly quite informal in their organizational structures, a lot of flat structures, less hierarchy, less reporting into head office, that kind of things, and high operational pressures where they're operating in low margins. And in the government reports, what's interesting, when SMEs are discussed and when the lag of adoption is discussed, a lot of them point to these reasons, such as limited technical resources, etc. And actually, I think the urgency with the government reporting is the fact that the adoption gap between large enterprise and SMEs is widening, so it's not improving. And that's why the government tone has shifted in how they're drafting these frameworks and providing supports. A lot of the existing literature in this area, as I look into it, focuses a lot on the consumer experience. So consumers interacting with generative AI within organizations or technology in larger enterprise. A lot of the common technology adoption frameworks that are used include technology acceptance model, the UTAUT, and the TOE framework. However, overall, behavioral and organizational drivers of Gen AI adoption largely remain underexplored. And as Gen AI takes our industry by storm, more timely and insightful research shedding light on how innovative AI technologies and facilitated services reshape hospitality is urgently needed in this contemporary era of AI. And I'll tell you one of the reasons for that. One of the things that we're seeing is this bottom-up diffusion where actually employees are introducing Gen AI tools to work. So the CSO, or the Central Statistics Office in Ireland, found that just 20% of organizational leaders were comfortable saying, yes, we have integrated AI. Yet industry reports are pointing to 70 to 80% of employees actively using AI within those businesses. So they're introducing the tools themselves, tools that they have in their pocket as part of doing their own work. And you can imagine the governance risk with that. And in line with all of that research, there are also findings that 4 out of 5 business leaders in Ireland say that they're aware that AI and generative AI is being used in their businesses with no guardrails whatsoever. So there's this governance gap at the moment where the governance is not keeping pace with the diffusion of the technology inside the business. So when I looked at these models, they all contain constructs that are very, very useful. But the more I look through the literature, a lot of the literature is pointing to the fact that maybe a lot of these theories and models will not fully encapsulate the profound ramifications brought about by the advent of this new AI-driven age, and that existing frameworks might actually fall short of capturing novel attributes, complexities, and impacts of Gen AI on workforce dynamics and organizational operations. They may just fall short in what we're trying to explore here. And most study relying on these linear assumptions, the result may be incomplete understanding of the research phenomenon that we're looking at. So I have to bring all of that into consideration. The ultimate research aim for me in this study will be to explore and interpret those behavioral factors that influence the adoption of Gen AI by leaders in the SME independent hotel context. Why 20% of leaders say they're adopting AI, and even much less than that if you look just at SMEs, whereas employees are diffusing the technology. What is it about leadership attitudes towards AI, the governance and policy piece, which seems to be lacking, trust and perceived risk when we look at behavior, what's holding these leaders back? Obviously, that shadow AI use that is happening now. Shadow AI refers to use in the organization that you're not aware of as a leader. And then a lot of the literature is not alone pointing to those four aspects, but also organization, culture, and values. And it looks like for SMEs, when they tie their AI use to their values in creating their policy, it tends to be much more effective. So if you're an SME and your values and mission statement may include words like integrity, innovation, etc., as many of these corporate documents include, these are values that you can also build your AI policy around and commence your AI journey to talk about how we use AI and how we won't use AI. For example, never disclosing the personal identity of guests in an AI large language model, etc. So these are the predominant areas that are popping up in the literature. And ultimately, having looked at the models and looked at the direction that I may need to take, this study will actually go down an abductive route. So an emerging phenomena like Gen AI possibly transits that existing theory that I've been speaking about, a lot of these adoption models that have been around for some time now. And I want to kind of go further and see, rather than testing kind of those predefined constructs from those models, actually explore how senior managers and leaders in these businesses really interpret and respond to what is an actively evolving area, if you know what I mean. Now, those constructs will be very useful as I look across the models, using existing theory to inform interpretation, but not to be constrained by one linear model as such. So therefore, methodology-wise, I'm going to take an exploratory qualitative approach with semi-structured interviews of owners and senior managers across the Republic of Ireland in those small to medium independent hotels. And data collection will continue across those hotels until a thematic saturation is achieved, when no new insights start to emerge following those interviews. At the moment, I've been through ethical approval, supported by my supervisor, Dr. Angela Wright. Ethics approval has been granted, and I'm deep into the literature review progress now. My plan is to do pilot interviews over this coming summer, and then hopefully enter the full interview phase in the first semester of the next university calendar year, and in 2027 get into the data analysis and potentially a framework development around this. The hope is that I would contribute new insights into Gen AI adoption in the SME context within independent hotels, which I've worked in for many years now, and identify those behavioral and governance drivers of what's holding those leaders back, but what can support them in more effectively adopting the AI technology in line with government guidelines and government ambition, because the government frameworks speak a lot about supports, but they're not going to manage the process inside organizations for us. So it's taking that step, providing practical insight for leaders, navigating that Gen AI adoption question at the moment as the gap seems to widen. So thank you for listening to that brief research update from me. I've included my email address here on LinkedIn. I would be delighted to connect with fellow researchers or faculty who are interested in this topic. Always happy to discuss the area as a very interesting and novel one. So thank you for listening. In relation to the session, I'd just like to remind everyone that it is recorded and it is being live streamed. And any questions that you have, please feel free to put them into the chat here on Zoom. And at the end of the session, we will be having a question and answer session as well. So thank you for that, and feel free to get your questions into the chat. Next, I would like to introduce Wesley Put van den Beept, and she is a senior lecturer and researcher with Breda University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands, and she's included her email address and LinkedIn here for anyone that would like to connect. So Wesley has a background in business economics with a specialization in services marketing. She started her career as a researcher in consumer behavior research, and for almost 18 years, she works in higher education as lecturer and researcher. Creating meaningful learning experience is her passion, and her expertise lies in the field of design thinking, storytelling, customer experience, as well as digital marketing. She gets energized from combining education and research in the field of tourism and leisure, and it is a personal interest to train individuals and groups in creative leadership, social skills, team building, and personal development. She is also a certified trainer in MBTI Step 1, and her expertise areas are customer insights research, customer experience, experience design, design thinking, Imagineering, social media strategy, customer engagement management, marketing communications, market research, personal development, and creative leadership. So it's my pleasure to hand you over to Wesley. So I'll stop share now so she can share her screen.
Thank you, Patrick, for this extensive introduction. I will share my slides. So welcome everybody. Thank you. I would like to share our experiences, how we have set up a collaboration together with TUI, international travel company, which is one of our partners. And we have a very close collaboration with them. And especially in the field of AI, we have some interesting learnings on some projects we have done together. So again, here's a short introduction about myself. I mainly work in the field of research, and I'm also a lecturer, but I also have an account manager role to set up partnerships with organizations we work with. So as most of you are probably also a University of Applied Sciences, and I work in a professorship where we mainly do applied research projects. So this is a great opportunity to stay close with the industry and also to learn from them. So it's two ways. And I'm joining here today together with my colleague, Malina. So Malina will also give a short introduction about herself.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm Malina Boyd-Katzman. I am an AI instructor and trainer at Breda University of Applied Sciences. So I have been full-time helping BUAS basically with the adoption of the technology of generative AI, as well as external trainings where we visit different organizations that also would like to have assistance in that adoption. I did the Bachelor's of Game Architecture and Design and have a bit of a background in game development, which is where a lot of generative AI also already plays a role in a different industry. And I'm part of the community of teaching and learning at BUAS and the AI Pioneers team. So I'll be giving some insights on how we handle it here inside of BUAS to support Wesley in her full story.
Yes, so here you can see our mission and vision, where we stand for as Breda University. As I already introduced, we are an applied university University of Applied Sciences in Breda in the Netherlands. and we educate and innovate for well-preparedness in a fast-changing world, and we empower young professionals on their journey to shape a better world. And we do this, of course, mainly through our education, but also our applied research projects, which is, of course, very valuable to prepare young professionals for the futures, and also in the field of AI learning. And I was inspired with this special interest group of AI when I visited the Atlas conference in Spain in June. And it's very interesting to share experiences, with different partners, how we are working with AI, not only within our own university, and how we work with it with our staff and students, but also together with industry partners. And that is what we would like to share for today. But first, we would like to give an introduction on our own AI strategy compass, how we have kind of implemented the field of AI within BUAS.
Yes, so the AI strategy compass, or the AISC, has been written by Ines Springel, my manager and the leading person of the AI pioneer team, where BUAS very quickly acknowledged that this is a urgent new technology that is, of course, taking society by storm, students and lecturers alike, and we wanted to provide additional training, insights to prevent that shadow usage that Patrick Shields has already mentioned. So the strategy compass is supposed to give a structure to how to tackle that, with defining the ambition and strategy, setting up clear communication channels, establishing an AI pioneer team for the early adopters that also fall into line with the UT-UAT system. And that those pioneers basically sit together, identify the most important learnings that the organization needs, and then start educating peers and co-workers via a programmatic approach. But of course, a lot of the acceptance and adaptation of the technology is very cultural and more in the mindset of things. So it's also important that we facilitate as much cultural change and support the understanding that people come from very different backgrounds and different understandings. To guide that effectively, we set up an AI ethics policy first, so that everybody understood kind of the foundational rules of the organization of how we're going to handle AI. Personal responsibilities, where we assure that the autonomy of the user is still a priority first, and critical thinking is essential. We do not want to blindly trust on generative AI, of course. We set up fundamental rules where everybody in the questionable state of accountability and responsibility, we have a consistent answer to those questions, as well as organizational duties to both keep the higher managers as well as the ground floor employees all kind of on the same understandings of these are our responsibilities and how we handle generative AI, especially putting focus on maintaining and acknowledging the value of independent thinking, that this is a tool to use as a strength, not as a replacement. And next slide. Of course, we work as an educational facility, which means that we had to also incorporate generative AI into our curriculum, where we have taken the entire constructive alignment, which is a standard method, or well, one of the methods of education, and adapted everything to fit with generative AI in mind, where our learning outcomes, or basically the competencies and skills that we aim for, we added additional AI skills specifically to train in industry and work field specific aspects of every student's academy, that they have AI skills relevant to their field of work that they can train on, and we can actually just incorporate the usage of AI to also facilitate that cultural change, so that they are not, the students aren't worried about it feeling like cheating, and can also get used to the adoption of these technologies. Our learning activities, or our units of teaching, so our classes and courses, also have specific levels of AI usage, which are defined for both the lecturer and the student. So that can be either in a supportive brainstorming role or in a refining a text and drafting role. And we also adjust our assessments according to those levels with a two-lane approach, which are theories and frameworks often developed by the Sydney University, and we've been looking closely at how they are incorporating it and then also adjusting it to our personal needs as University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands, because we of course have our different utilizations. That is effectively how BUAS has tried to tackle the technology adaptation and how we are also educating all staff as well as students and offer this as well to externals. And now I'll hand it back to Wesley then for the rest of the slides.
Thank you, Malina. And I have to say that this approach really helped us also as a lecturer to feel more confident in AI and what it could, the meaning for us in our daily work, and also how to integrate it in our modules. Our university works across different industry domains. As I'm personally mainly working in the hospitality domain, also within the field of tourism, we collaborated also with our data science and AI program. We also have a professor in the field of data science and AI, and he's also closely involved in our projects. Within our strategy, we have a connection to industry approach. So we have set up strategic partnership with different international organizations. Here you see some of these organizations, and within the field of tourism, you see we closely collaborate also with TUI, the Dutch Tourism Board, KLM, BCD Travel. As we have a close collaboration with TUI, I had a good contact with their AI innovation lead. She was coming over on a regular basis for guest lectures. So here you see our industry approach, how we do our transfer activities and how we try to create value for both industry partners and our students so that it's kind of a win-win situation. So we were building that relationships that, between us. And based on that, we have set up a lifelong learning program in the field of AI. And this worked out pretty effectively. And as Patrick also explained in his story, different leadership approaches who have to adapt these AI methodologies are very important. So they saw that in TUI as well. We set up a program separately for managers and employees, because also, the managers are sometimes a bit reluctant to apply it or are maybe less familiar with it. So we organized 2 training sessions, both at our location. So it was also very helpful for the employees of TUI to be out of their own bubble. So together with their innovation leads, we set up this training program and with both our AI pioneer team. It was a very hands-on session, also very interactive to exchange between colleagues how they are using AI to learn from each other, what are the strengths and weaknesses of it. We also gave them some homework. So there was I think 2 months in between the sessions. And in the second session, when they came back, they could already share more experiences, how they had been working with AI. And this approach led to kind of tailored learning. So we developed these sessions based on their specific needs, how they wanted to adapt AI. And at the same time, they were also running a cultural program, which was called Embrace AI. So throughout the organization, they started especially in the Netherlands, and they also took it more globally. So they are now operating from the German head office at TUI with their AI pioneer, AI team, you could say. They also set up a mentorship program where ambassadors also try to stimulate other colleagues to use more AI. They had regular updates. And of course, it's a combination of theory and practice, because I think it was now a year ago that we set up these sessions, and already in a year time, so much has changed. Other tools are being used now, and developments are going very rapidly. But for us, it's of course also important to have a good overview on, what kind of tasks and in what kind of daily work AI could be used. So here you see some departments in which AI is used on a regular, on a daily basis, you could say. So for customer support, pricing optimization, content marketing, reservation systems, and destination visitor flow analytics. So also the organization is learning on how to apply AI in what kind of processes to integrate. And it's very interesting and relevant to do more research on that for us as well, to learn from them. But this is, of course, a very dynamic field. Also, during that time, they were able to develop a lot of AI assistants. So they're also moving more towards agentic AI, where there are a lot of different assistants already operating in the system. They have set up a different platform for that. They collaborate a lot with external organizations also to upgrade that and to improve on that. But throughout different departments, these assistants are being used and applied, and that's a very valuable learning tool within the organization. And as we saw when we started the training sessions, there was a kind of adoption challenge. People are not always, the perceptions differ on how to use AI. Is it safe or not? Can we stay in our own company environment, or what can we share and what not to share? Some people also have technical barriers, and there is some resistance to change. So also this cultural program really helped to open up the conversation, to bring people together. Last September, I visited, also they organized a day in the company fully dedicated on AI. All kinds of workshops were set up where people again could exchange their experiences in working with AI. And you could see that these kind of events really help to adapt AI within the organization. And of course, the literacy gaps are there as well. And these vary per department, but these need to be overcome, of course. So during the training sessions, we also ask people to share their thoughts on how to apply AI. So what are your worries? What are your dreams? How would you like to bring this forward within the organization? And it's nice to see that it also stimulates creativity within people. So some people really stepped up to take more leadership and to have this ambassador role and to take their colleagues along. So that was also a valuable spin-off within the organization. Together with our MBA Imagineering group, we set up an Embrace AI project as well for 3 different departments, for finance, law, and procurement, because these are more internally operating departments, which were a bit hesitant of AI usage. So our students also explored what the barriers were. They did interviews and other interventions, and finally came up with a solution approach, which was also more in the way of setting up an ambassadorship program, which they now have implemented, or which is ongoing to be implemented within the organization. So if we look back at, I think we are working now for about 1.5 years, 2 years maybe already, with TUI on this AI implementation project, and both of us have learned a lot from it. So participants also within our university and of course within the companies as well are being updated about the latest trends. We also give them an insight what other organizations are doing. We try to keep up to date with that. And through these interactive dialogues and co-creative sessions, participants enhance their ability to work more collaboratively in teams and to take colleagues along in how to work on a daily basis with AI. So not only, of course, in procurement, finance, and law, but yeah, all the different departments try to implement it. So within TUI, it's now really embedded also from a strategic approach, more tactical to more operational level as well, within different jobs. For us, it was also a way to find out how to engage and how to be inspired with stakeholders, fostering a culture of innovation. The program really contributed to ensure AI knowledge that not people only know about it, but also how they can use it and bring that forward in their work. And the ambassadors, that really works like a oil slick that they take along more colleagues, to embrace it. So here we have some interesting quotes, how people look back on this collaboration. Again, with TUI, we were lucky. They already had an innovation department in place, where there was a lot of focus on AI. But if we look at small to medium enterprises, there is definitely more to win. I also presented this case at the UIIN conference. I don't know if you are familiar with that. It's the University Industry Innovation Network. And there I also heard from some Scandinavian universities that they even got grants to apply this for SMEs. So there are some European grants for that available as well. So it could be interesting to explore that further. So via sharing this story, I hope I have inspired you how to embrace AI together with your industry partners, and we have to continue working on this. Both Malina and me and the team are working with some other industry partners in the Netherlands as well, and they're pretty open to that. What is also interesting to share, our team is pretty enthusiastic about this team. And in October, we are organizing the first European educational conference on AI. So this is more how we are applying Claude for all our students. But we are organizing together with the Faculty of Teaching and Learning in Central Florida on the 19th and the 20th of October, a conference on teaching and learning. So all of you are invited, and I hope you can join. And probably most of you are also connected to a European network, where this is also, of course, a very important team in also our research projects. We are part of the Creative AU Alliance, so also there we would like to bring this further and explore more research opportunities together. So if you would like to connect with us on that, feel free to reach out to us. And that was it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Wesley and Melina, for the highly informative presentation. Wonderful to learn about your journey, and huge learnings for us all there, and seeing what you've done so well and the feedback you've got is fantastic. I'll now share my screen once more, and for anybody with any questions on that presentation, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we will have a question and answer session at the end of the current speaker sessions. So it's my pleasure now to introduce our second speaker, Haneen El Sahili. And Haneen is a PhD researcher in tourism and leisure in a Cototel program between the Lebanese University and Universitat Rovira i Virgili in Spain, where I had the pleasure to meet Haneen last summer and learn about her extremely interesting research, which she'll speak to us about in a moment. Alongside her doctoral studies, she works as a research assistant at the School of Business at the American University of Beirut, contributing to research in management and marketing. Haneen's research interests center on digital transformation in tourism and hospitality experiences, with a particular focus on how emerging technologies such as augmented and mixed reality and AI shape interpretation and experience design in tourism and hospitality contexts. So welcome, Haneen, and I'll stop share now so that you can share if you like.
First of all, hello, and it's so nice to meet you again. I've seen all of you at the Atlas conference last time. It's an ultimate pleasure to meet you and to be participating in this special interest group session. And thank you so much for the introduction, which I'm very humbled with. I will be sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so okay. So first of all, I would like to say that Patrick, I've been listening to your presentation, and aside from what I will be discussing today, what I'm working on with my supervisor or the principal investigator at the American University of Beirut, we are working on the AUDUA model in understanding how guests react or use AI services in hotel contexts. So we've started with TAM, with the TAM model and the UTAUT, and now we are moving forward into incorporating more hedonic variables and other social variables that accompany the original models. But aside from that, I will be discussing a different thing today, which is a little bit niche and different from, not different, but complements the original incorporation of AI in the tourism industry, but with a specific orientation towards the cultural heritage tourism experiences. Okay. So what I will be discussing and what I would like to study and show from this presentation is exploring the role of AI in shaping mixed reality tourism experiences. I know the title is broad, and it's a little bit niche and goes specifically into the cultural heritage sector. But with another professor at the American University of Beirut, we've been exploring areas of research that incorporate AI in mixed reality experiences. And it has shown that it has a potential, and it will be by 2030 and the upcoming years, it will be gaining more, not to say popularity, but to say more practicality in the field and more usage, because of course AI in its different domains is facilitating the role of technology. Just a moment. Okay, so as Patrick already introduced, I'm working as a PhD researcher or as a PhD candidate at the University of Rovira in Virgili in Spain with the Lebanese University, as well as a research assistant. And the whole scope of my work is digital technologies in the tourism and hospitality industry. Each one, it's in technically different sector or mini domain, but overall, it all contributes to the same general field, which is digital technologies in tourism and hospitality. So first of all, tourism as a social context, it is more than the traditional introduction as just a movement of people. It is a continuous social phenomenon. It is dynamic. It is co-created by visitors and destinations. It is not only a sole receptor, I mean the visitors. It is intangible and experiential and highly dependent on interpretation and storytelling. Why am I going to tourism experiences first? Because I want to go from that and move forward into the interactive and digital experiences. But first of all, I would like to say that tourism experiences are depend on three main things: the physical environment, the social context, and the interpretive layers. All of these three things get together and offer basis for the base for the technology or the technologies or the digital applications to take place and facilitate the augmentation or the promotion of tourism experiences in destinations. So there are different stages where we can visit: the pre-visit, the on-site, and the post-visit. And technologies can be implemented, digital technologies, in each one of these stages and in a different manner. Moving forward, these are the types of many types of tourism, and as I said before, the focus is on the cultural heritage tourism specifically. Why? Because first of all, my PhD is in augmented reality, is focused on augmented reality and how it helps, how it uses or its potential impact on tourism experiences and the long-term sustainable management of under-risk and underdeveloped cultural heritage destinations. So this is why my focus is on cultural heritage tourism as a niche, and I'm always looking into more avenues, into more ways in for the promotion of cultural heritage tourism, because it's delicate, because it needs to be long-term. It is always at risk, and specifically at regions where there is risk. So it always fascinated me and caught my attention. Moving forward, additionally, I would just like to present a general idea of cultural heritage, the cultural heritage product, which is a group of tangible and intangible elements that form a progressive process that we would like to preserve and promote. It is not only physical, but it constitutes what communities also contribute to the place. Many scholars already discuss cultural heritage in many avenues and the cultural heritage product. So heritage, the aim of using digital technologies is aimed at two main avenues. The first one is the heritage valorization. I mean, its valorization as an entity, as an intangible and tangible entity, and its prolonged or long-term preservation as a social product and as something that should not be lost. Why am I discussing heritage valorization? Because as I read throughout the literature review that I made, that I'm working on in my PhD, digital technologies are key and vital elements in heritage valorization and its long-term sustainability and preservation. So different digital technologies include augmented reality, which I'm working on actually in my PhD, and virtual reality, 3D scanning, which is mainly in the preservation section of cultural heritage, mobile applications, digital archives, laser scanning, and etc., etc. We have a lot of digital technologies. We have a lot of applications that have already been done, that have been used to enhance heritage interpretation and visitor experiences. It has been used for pedagogical value, for redefining visitor engagement in an interpretive manner and immersive manner, it has incorporated active engagement in cultural heritage sites instead of just passive learning and passive presence. It has become, throughout digital technologies, it has become more of an immersive process that gets the visitor to live heritage, not only just see it from a passive point of view. There are many frameworks that have already been discussed in literature that talk about augmented reality, that talk about digital cultural tourism, that discuss how storytelling is incorporated in cultural tourism, and for its also promotion and preservation. The focus here in this research path that I am exploring now is mixed reality. Mixed reality is augmented reality and virtual reality. It combines both real-time interaction between users and virtual elements. It incorporates real-time interaction and virtual elements that already are there. It uses AR-enabled smartphones, tablets, or head-mounted displays. So, where does AI, artificial intelligence, contribute or play a role in all of this technologies? Okay, so if we have already available technologies, so where does AI play a specific role? So before discussing that, there are many examples that I've seen using mixed reality in general, or AR, augmented or virtual. It is always developing, it's always advancing. 2025 is different from the year before, is different from this year. So each year we have a new technology, we have a new application that is coming into place. For example, you can see here the pop-up maps. We can see how AR, for example, in this castle above, these are 2D characters that are incorporated into real-time experiences in Heritage Castle, and normal navigation application that uses augmented reality in a tourism destination. So these are also context of turning heritage into a digital experience. These are more specific processes within the process. Artificial intelligence. Usually, AI is used in personalized travel recommendations, chatbots, robots, a lot of already available mobile applications that incorporate AI to recommend travel plans, intelligent customer services, whether in hotels, whether in destinations, smart destination management that uses specific AI technologies to facilitate the management of a certain destination in an innovative manner that tracks visitor numbers and tracks a lot of things that later contribute to its management and sustainability. And the last one, which is content creation and digital experiences, which I would like to focus on aside from all the previous ones. Specifically, what I'm looking into is the section which is concerned with the computer vision and artificial intelligence. How specific technologies that are included in the computer vision sector of AI can help in advancing the already available mixed reality applications, which I mean, for example, we were discussing the professor that I told you about and I recently, how, okay, so I go into the heritage destination, for example, an archaeological site, and then there I can view throughout my mobile application how it's 3D imagined reconstruction. So there is a level of reality, there is a level of interactive immersion, there is a level of interest, but it still lacks a small level of reality, of realism. So I still feel that this is an experience. I still feel that this is something that is artificially generated. So AI can come in this place and bridge this gap in a way that it helps the already available AR, specifically augmented reality applications, and boost its function and to create more highly realistic experiences that can be used to promote cultural heritage tourism and later also track visitor numbers and contribute to the site management in the long term. Why are we recommending that? Because using this way, the normal tourism experiences would, cultural tourism experiences would be elevated in a way that is not like a small percentage. No, it's a high percentage. We are changing how heritage is viewed, is seen, is lived. For example, using such techniques, you can enter a site and using a technique that employs volumetric videos, you can get on the site, and throughout your phone, you can view actual actors that were already captured on site throughout the phone. They can come to you, they can talk to you, they can present, for example, what they are working on. Every site in its specific era, specific intended era. These are different paragraphs that I got from a recent 2025 UNESCO UN. I'm not sure if it's UNESCO, but I think yes. UN report that discusses AI and the use of AI in cultural heritage and cultural tourism. It has a lot of avenues, a lot of things to dive into. But this recent report shows that the interest in AI in cultural heritage and digitalization and cultural heritage is only going to increase. And it's our responsibility as researchers to keep track of what is needed and what is advancing in the domain. Also, this was also incorporated in the report. It shows that the difference between the normal value chain before the digitalization and the incorporation of AI in cultural heritage, how it was linear, and then how when we introduce the AI and digitalization, it becomes different, it becomes more active. There is different and additional relationships between different stages of the value chain, and how it advances the traditional way of delivering the cultural heritage product into the different contexts. So the question that I'm sorry, wait. Okay, the question that I want to pose and discuss that how can computer vision technologies powered by artificial intelligence enable the development of highly immersive mixed reality experiences in cultural heritage tourism? This is the question that I have in mind. I wanted to show also one additional thing. Okay, what I'm working on is in my PhD is specific glass-making industrial site that is located in the city of Tyre in southern Lebanon. It is totally, the ruins are not there because of time and circumstances and everything. I'm working towards its reconstruction throughout augmented reality. So what I wanted with this question is to go beyond traditional augmented reality and see how artificial intelligence specifically, along its role in tracking visitors and helping in the visitor management frameworks, how it can enable highly immersive mixed reality experiences and promote them in a way that caters to the current trends and help us in viewing what the future might look like in the cultural tourism industry. I'm still looking into available literature, because it's specifically in this domain, it's a little bit specific or niche. But I believe that it has a potential, and it needs a lot of case studies. It depends on cultural heritage studies, tourism studies, and computer science for sure, specifically AI, computer vision and AI. But I believe and I am confident that it has potential, and I will be working on it in the coming months if God facilitates. So thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Haneen. a really interesting presentation. And what I might do is share my screen again as we move to a question and answer part of our session. And just one moment now, I'll move my slide across. And I guess to kick us off, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. But to start off, I'll ask Haneen a question now. Just based on what you've been discussing, could I ask, how has the rapid advancement of this technology, which is so interesting, impacted your research journey over time?
So regarding this question, you mean how? So I'm working on this for different months and different like a little bit of years that advance. Each year, each month, you need to track what's been done, what's new. So you need always to get updated in this domain, because you might like work on something that 2 or 3 other people are already working on, or for example, a new technology emerges, a new thing emerges. But the thing is, with this specific augmented reality experience, and because I'm working on Lebanon, on specifically this site, there are limited initiatives that were made and were discontinued. So I wanted to include why they were discontinued. And I believe that as long as I'm working on this area and keeping track of the trends that already are there globally, I can stay, as they say, on the safe side, and not like get lost in the technologies that already like expire, as they say.
Exactly. Thank you. It's a consideration for all of us, isn't it, in this space, about keeping our research relevant over those periods of time as it rapidly evolves. And thank you, Anine. One more question for me. Thank you, Wesley and Melina, as well, for your excellent presentation. Could I ask you, is seeing the feedback from partners the most rewarding part of your journey so far? And where do you see that relationship going into the future?
For the first part, of course, it's very rewarding. What I experienced personally, building up this relationship, so each of us, both on university level as on the industry side, are looking for solutions on how to embrace AI and how to work with that. And this leads to a mutual understanding. So it was also very relevant that we had the opportunity to visit their events as well. So you have to see, it's also in the personal relationship. So the person you are collaborating with, so also from their side, they invested a lot of time to come over to us, to give guest lectures, to participate also in sessions with our students and with our AI pioneers. So we try to keep that relationship going, and also curious for what we can learn from them even more in the future, because they're really scaling it up on a European level. So we'll see.
Very good. Thank you very much. Great. I will stop sharing now. Thank you to everyone for joining us. If anyone has any questions also that's in the meeting, feel free to unmute and ask any questions you like as well.
Hey, Patrick, Angela here. So first of all, I just want to say thank you sincerely to our contributors today. It was just so interesting and insightful to see, your different perspectives and where you're coming from. And I really do want to thank you and for taking the time. And it was so great to meet with you at Atlas last summer and make the connections. And I suppose just to see the synergies around the work that we're all doing, I suppose across the world in various spaces around AI. And I suppose the benefits it will bring hopefully to us. I know we have the worries around guardrails and all of these concerns that we really have to, be very conscious of in today's world, especially. But it's great to see, you know, how we're embracing it, how we're working with it. You know, Wesley's work, Patrick's work, obviously, and Henning, I just love, you know, the idea that this augmented reality and this ancient glass works, you know, how gorgeous will that be? You know, that we'd be able to see the heritage and the past, I suppose, innovations that were there really when you look at it in a different way. So just, I really want to thank you sincerely. And I know when I reached out to you, were so willing to give of your time. And thank you for that and sharing your expert and really interesting knowledge with us today. And we look forward to engaging with you in the future. And of course, Patrick, thank you sincerely for doing all the heavy lifting on today's as well. So that's it for me. Just congratulations all, and thank you very, very much indeed.
Thank you so much for this opportunity and like for giving us an avenue to discuss what we are working on. And it is always my pleasure to participate, and I hope to see you soon in any opportunity later on.
Hopefully in the summer again, we'll see Wesley and Melina and yourself, Henning, again, and Patrick, hopefully. And all of our colleagues online that joined us today for taking your time. Really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So just back over to questions. Sorry, I hope I didn't kill the question and answer session, but just over there, Patrick, so other people would like to add their questions and comments.
Yeah, not at all. We have some lovely comments coming in, some lovely reactions as well. So thank you to all for that. I'll just leave the space open again for another little bit if anyone wants to ask a question. And if not, we can bring it to a conclusion. Perfect. So once again, we'd like to thank our speakers and contributors today, and again for the reactions and the comments and for the attendance. Wishing everybody the very best in their continued research. We actually have one question coming in now from Tan. Thank you for your question. It says, thanks, Patrick. If SMEs don't deploy the devices or systems, how do you evaluate their attitude, measure their opinions via scale or approaches? It's a very good question. And I think that's why I want to take that qualitative approach to speak to leaders. And I expect some leaders may say, we haven't adopted AI. Yet the research is saying, even if leaders are saying that, to a certain degree, employees may still be adopting it, and shadow AI usage may be happening within the industry. But I guess that qualitative approach will allow me to get a response on that, to see what is the leader's attitude, and will they say, we haven't started AI journey yet? And that will all form part of the research, I suppose. But it'll be very interesting, and I look forward to that stage. And thank you for your question. Now I'm just going to quickly check the chat. Oh, there's another one coming now from Vitor. And he asks, thank you, Vitor. What are the main barriers that tourism and hospitality organizations face when implementing AI? And perhaps I can ask Wesley about this question, if you like, Wesley, having worked with some of these organizations.
Yes, yeah, based on the experience with TUI, I think even from an HR perspective, that they put that Embrace AI program in place. So that was spread around the whole of the organization. So we all have certain perceptions indeed. So people do have worries about AI, and you have to open up the conversation on that. So I'm also curious maybe if Malina has some ideas, because we have done a lot of AI trainings in our organization as well. Do you see some other insights, what we have experienced at BUAS?
There is an interesting kind of two perspectives that I've noticed, at least when engaging with the tourism and hospitality side of things, which of course is not as elaborate as Wesley's experiences, where there is the concern for the human connection in these fields and industries sometimes, where people are worried about the adaptation of AI kind of taking away that very human and individual use case situation. But often that gets met with the counter argument that people are now, like end users are using it more to arrange elements of tourism and hospitality. So there is that level of they want to maintain that human connection, but also are aware that it is being adopted not just by the industry and different organizations, but also by the people that wants to go to places. They ask AI what would be interesting. So there is this barrier in between, or I would rather call it a gap kind of between that the early majority and the late majority coming into place of, okay, when is it too much and too early, and when does it meet the desires and needs of everybody, or at least the most amount of people? And that's always been an interesting discussion to have within the tourism and hospitality field. That frankly, I personally also do not know the best answer to, but it is the how ready everybody else is to accept generative AI in the role of hospitality, for example.
Yeah. And of course, it will change jobs or how we do our work. For instance, in connection to research, we see with our students as well that, yeah, they're applying AI massively. So we could, in a way, ignore it. But yeah, we need to guide them how to use it properly. And yeah, it is here to stay. So yeah, that is, of course, in the organizations as well, that they yeah, as I refer to, open up the conversation and talk about it with each other, how to apply it and what is ethical usage of AI. So, but yeah, we're still in the learning process, all of us. So there's a lot to learn, and for our industry partners as well.
Yeah, maybe I would like to add here because my research is about analyzing barriers to adoption of RISA, the term given by Steve Avenor. So it's by analyzing barriers here in the Irish tourism hotel industry, I saw that in the interviews and even in the survey, the cost of implementation, resistance from employees, resistance from guests. There are some particular guests, like elderly guests, they don't like to engage much with bots and AI. So they like the traditional way of being served by humans. So that, like he said, it's one of the barriers. So, and then vendor lock-in, in fact, like people feel stuck with one supplier for robots and all because there's not too much of technology advancement in that. So these are some of the barriers I got to know in my interviews with hotel managers and employees. So I just wanted to give that information here. Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, thank you for sharing valuable insights.
Yeah, thank you, Nita. Good to see you again. And just going back as well to the question about SMEs deploying AI devices or systems, remember that SMEs are more likely to already be paying for apps that they use every single month, like Microsoft Office or so on and so forth. And these apps are adding AI integrations. So the AI is there, it's in the app you're already using and already paying for. So maybe it's not about the SME making the decision or having full control to say they're the ones deploying the AI or the system. There are many ways that we're seeing AI come into the organization, you know. Great. That was fantastic dialogue. Thank you. Going to quickly check the chat. I think that's all of our questions for now, unless anyone else on the session wanted to ask one. Great, lovely. Thank you, everybody. A really engaging session. Thank you once again for all of the contributions. And let's keep connected and keep in touch and hope to see you at the next one.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, everybody. Great to see people. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Hanin.